So now she's baked, so everything is hard here, so it makes it easier for me to work on her volumes without, because when it's a soft clay here, you try to add a volume, it will start messing up what is already there. So it just make it easier. You can work without baking, but I think it makes it easier, especially for beginners. On her neck, we have this wire coming here that is going to hold her. We have a couple options to deal with this wire. One of them is you just build the neck until here, finish to build all the body, and then you unwrap the full wire and then you finish the neck. She's already going to be nice and straight. You don't have to touch her because the body is builded. That's option one. You can also build the neck normal and just leave the wire, and once it's done you cut it, kind of dig a little bit, cut it, and put more clay if the neck is showing. And for us, I think we don't need to worry about it. We can just build the neck, leave the wire, because there's plenty of hair that goes after that will cover this wire, so we really don't need to worry about it. I'm gonna start with the neck. The neck, it's one of the hardest part for you to decide the thickness of it, because it's the meeting of a big head with a very skinny and not proportional body. If you make too thick to fit the right size of the head, it looks weird with the body, and if you make too thin, it might look weird with the head. So you have to find a nice measurement for it. I think mine can even be more inclinated. I think it's not enough here. And then before you start building the neck, you have to place her head already according to her pose very well. You can also change after, but if you don't have to change, it's easier, it's better. The most important for the neck is that inclination. And something else that is important to know about the neck, even if you're making a caricature, is important to don't do this mistake. So some people do the neck larger here in the jaw and it goes skinnier once it goes down. That's wrong. And some people just make a curve here. That is also wrong. The right way to make a neck is like go straight down, and it's almost the same thick as the jaw, a little bit thinner. And this is a muscle that is in the back, that is the trapezius. It gives the impression of the neck making this curve, but the neck is just straight down in the front, and the trapezius is the one that is in the back and does this triangular shape on the neck. Okay, so this is what we are going to do. We're just going to go straight down with the neck. So I'm going to get clay. I always like to start pulling, it's too big, adding some clay in the front like this, and then go into the back like that. Also for a realistic neck, the meeting here with the chin cannot be in angle. It needs to have, I think I already said that when I was teaching face, you need to have a division here, and it fits, it meets the face, whereas the meeting of the neck is between jaw and chin. You find the center, and then the neck is supposed to come here, right in the center. But this is a caricature, we might not reach there, which is okay. It's just for you guys to know the right way. So meets there, meets this bone in the back here too, in the back. And on the side, on the front view, it's almost same thick as the jaw line, a little bit thinner. So I'm going to fill up all this space in there. Let me see, right there, there's a space between my wire and my neck. And I'm not worried here if this wire is going to show or not, because as I said, there's plenty of hair. I already moved her face. It's okay, I'm gonna place it all and then I'll rearrange it after. Just find the thickness that I want for the neck here. And you don't need to do the same thickness as mine. You can find your own style. It's actually important that the artist find its own style. Have to be careful. Every time there's wire involved, it might get bubbles, air bubbles, and there I can feel there's one in my neck. And as I said, don't let the neck open once it reaches here. Don't let it do this. Go straight down. Choose the thickness that you want and go straight down. And once you get here, where our bone finish, our thorax finish, this is where the neck must finish as well. So what I'm saying is, when you're building the neck, be careful to don't build over here, because sometimes you can put too much clay and invade this space. Make sure that the neck is going to be on the back there, go into the back, like with this inclination, go into the back, and it's going to finish in here like this and have this curve here. Okay, it's going to kind of look like a giraffe right now, but it's important that the neck for this style, it's not too short, because she's all long and the head is quite big. So I kind of like just that, and I can put the muscle in the back. Let me just make sure that my face is following what I have in here, kind of. So it's like that. It's more important to make sure that it's right once you're gonna bake it, because we're gonna touch it here often and it might change again. Okay, so I have the neck ready there. That's enough for our caricature style. If you want to put more realistic items here, you can. I don't know, I don't. For my sculpture, I pretty much just do that, and then when I start building the body, I'm gonna add the trapezius here. So a little bit. I don't add it fully, but I add a little bit in there so it doesn't look such a long neck. So for her boobs, I am going to make 2 balls, and then the size of her boobs, you can exaggerate if you want. So you just make 2 balls, try to find the same size. It doesn't need to be perfect, because not even us have exactly the same size of boobs. And then get those balls and make 2 drops, raindrops, like this. And we're gonna place them the end of the raindrop, this part here. It's going to match about here, where the bone has this this point here in the center, like higher than the ribs. Right here, this is kind of where we're gonna put. Mine are too big. Let's see, maybe she can have big boobs. Huge, giant. And then the raindrop is going to point to the shoulders, like that and like that. Maybe it's not too big. That's okay, right? She didn't have that big boob, but whatever. We'll see how it goes. If I think I should make it smaller, I'll do it. And something else about the boobs is on the side. Be careful to don't make the angle too high. The boobs must go down, must fall like this. They must have an inclination down. The bigger mistakes that my students do is like they bring the boob too straight here, and it's weird. Especially if it's a female student, they always want to put the boobs higher, and it doesn't look good. It's not going to be that big because I'm going to spread this around here. So the raindrop is going to be spread there, like this, and here. And this is going to make it smaller. And then something else that people forget to put on the boobs is a curve here. The boob must come round, 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 and then here some people just come and go straight to there. No, that's wrong. Keep on going and give it a nice round shape until all the boob is rounded here, and that looks better. So when you look in this angle, let me see if I can show here, in this angle you will see, let's show here. So this is what you have to make sure there's a full ball here, almost full. Just don't go and do this straight here, that you need to have this coming inside. I'm just going to smooth it out and blend all neck and boobies all together. And this is what we get here also, especially because she's wearing a bra. You can still make sure that the boobies are going to be rounded and still have a little, I don't know how to call that in English, but anyway, this shape here, you know what I'm talking about, like this dimps in there. Dimps, maybe I can call it dimps, I'm not sure. I'm gonna smooth it out after with a brush, but for now it's good. So yeah, see, the boobs are big, but at least it doesn't look like she's super skinny. It looks like it's intentional skinny because it's this proportion, and I like that. Okay, so now that I have that, I'm gonna bring her arms up to get out of my way, because I'm not gonna do arms right now. I'm still gonna put her dress first, and then the arms are gonna go there. And I am going to shape this better. So on the sides, you don't need to go, because it's a caricature, we don't need to find the right thicken for here. We can leave it very skinny. I just want to put more here, hips here, like this. Still showing the point of the iliac is still here, which I don't even need to cover because the dress will, and I like it to show. So just some more hips, and I'm also going to make her legs thicker. So, and here, if you want to put a thicker for the ribs here, you can. I don't think it's necessary for mine, I'm not going to, but if you think yours is too skinny or you want more of a shape, you can, like, really, this is time to play and really have fun and play with the shapes and do whatever you think it's beautiful or you think it matches her body. So I kind of like that, because then I don't want to make Amy Winehouse looking like the face that she was really sick. I really want to make her in her healthy phase and, you know, glorious phase. I don't want to show her in her bad days. So, but I still want to make her really skinny. So this is kind of a challenge, because I want to make her skinny, but I don't want to make her look sick. That's why I'm going to add quite a bit of boobs and butts, because when she was skinny she lost it all. But I won't let her lose it. I'm just gonna do it. And I'm gonna I put the sides here, and I think I can add more butt here, but I won't right now. I'm just going to blend right now, and then after I thicken the legs, then I can see if I will put more butt. Did I say boob? I think I said boob, but I meant butt. So that's what I'm looking for. Skinny but not sick in here, right? Of course the legs must to have something more, and I like that. I like that a lot. It's funny, it's not realistic at all, and it's better, because if you try to make it too realistic, it's gonna look like you tried to do a realistic and you messed up, you made a mistake. So don't try to go realistic. Try to go very, very caricature is better. And now I'm going to make her leg a little bit thicker, not on here. So if you put your clay here and it got thick here, take it off. Because I mean, at least I try to make very thin right here. I don't know, it's just what I like. You don't have to. I'm gonna put a little bit of more legs. I'm gonna put it slowly because I don't want her to have thick, and if I think I need more, then I'll put more. So just the front muscle here, it's gonna come here over the knee and meeting right there where the wire would meet, and here, and then slowly bring it to the back. Blend it with the knee. And don't forget that once it reaches here, it goes in. Don't come and put clay and get it all together here. We need to have this one deeper here. And meeting in there. It's not going to show because the dress is going to cover it all, but still good to know. This is funny. I like it. I really, really like that thick. It's not thick, but it matches her hips pretty good. And still make her look skinny, but not thick. That's what I'm looking for. And I'm not looking for realistic shapes, as I said. And don't be afraid to try. That's the biggest mistake that a sculptor could do, is being afraid. Don't be afraid. Try it. Try to go where you think it's gonna work. If it doesn't work, just do it again. It's okay. And then here to the back, I can blend it first before I decide what I'm gonna do. Blending is always good to have a better view of what you just did. So now it's kind of blended in, and what I'm gonna do here is looking on the profile. You have here a thickness of this part of the behind the knee, but when it comes to the butt, I don't like to leave this curve here. I like to go straight down, especially when the leg is going to the front. I really don't like to leave a hole here, so I'm gonna fill all this space with clay to reach the size of the butt. Place it in there, so right there, filling all the way to the butt, and blend it. So see how it looks so much better without the hole. And this, as I said here, I don't like to make a hole, but if you look inside, so here, outside here, on the outsides, I have clay going all the way to the butt and not having this part deeper. But inside, right here, until the kind of a half of the butt, then this part can be deeper, and that's okay. We can have this mark right there, but just inside. And that's because our muscle here, it's not rounded. It's also a raindrop that goes outside here, and that's why we have this part higher than this inside. It's so small to show. I'll try to show in the drawing. I think I'm gonna put more butt here, just inside as well. So right there, put a bigger butt. The cell phone is showing way better than the camera, so if you're watching the edited version, you might want to take a look in this class on the full version. Okay, that's a good size of butt, and as you can see, there is not a hole here. It still goes straight. So here, even though I made the butt bigger, there's not a hole. It goes straight here on the outside, and once you come in, then here you have it deeper in there and bigger in here. Let me make a drawing. So here how it is, the butt. If you look, you can see this mark just in the center here. You don't see it out here, because so this part can be deeper than that one, but out here is just not, it's all together. So when you look to the profile on the side, you see the butt and the leg coming like this without a hole, without doing this, unless the butt is really, really big or is a silicone. Then you can see a little bit, but especially when it's going in the front, you don't see it go straight. Okay, so just inside, yes, you can have this mark inside here. And that's exactly what I did here. I do have the mark, let me look right there, I do have it, but if you look here, it already starts disappearing, and on the sides there's nothing. There's maybe a little bit, but not really a line. Okay, so I'm gonna do the same with the other leg now. Okay, so I'm going to just place in here in the front, just like I did the other one, and go all the way up there. Be careful because this one is higher, so you're not gonna reach in here. You have to go higher. Same thing, and go all the way to the knee right there. Start bringing to the back and finding the same thicken that you found for that one. And don't forget, still here needs to be deep right there. And now I'm gonna put the same thing in the back to fill up this hole. So this one you can have more because of the position, the leg is straight, so you can have a little bit of a mark here showing that the butt is bigger, but not much. Well, if it's a caricature, you can even do big to exaggerate, but then it's a style. You should probably make a sketch before you just try to sculpt it. You can make like all with little suddenly bumps. That's a style. You can make all like kind of a triangular shape. It's also another style you can use. I want to do kind of slow so you guys can see step by step and all the parts that I'm building. But if you already know what you're doing, you can just go straight and add the leg and add the butt all at once. You don't need to do one part and then the other one like I'm doing. It's kind of same thickness, I think. Just this butt is meshed in there and this one is not. So I'm going to put a little bit of more butt in there. So see, this one I'm not worried that it's not gonna have, that it's gonna go all straight because of the position. This one can have it because she's squeezing her butt over her leg, so it does happen, this curve, even in the outside here. It's less, but it still happens. Just try to get the two sides of the butt kind of the same size. Blend it all in. And there we go. I think this is nice, funny, sexy, and it doesn't look like she's sick. Here on the side, I put a little bit of more clay in here. Just blend it in to make, I don't know, I thought it was too skinny. Just, as I said, I'm just playing around with the shapes and see what I like it better. I want to make like a, I'm gonna put more up here too on the ribs, just to look like she's bending very strongly and made a mark in there. Right there. So she doesn't look just bones. You don't have to do it if you don't want. And on the sides here, also, I'm gonna put a little bit, not much, of more volume on her body, so she's not so super skinny. Just in the center here. See, if I think I put too much, then I can remove it after. Just, as I said, don't be afraid. Test it and see what you like better, and until you look at it and love it. If you're not in love with, keep on trying different stuff. I like that now. I really do. Okay, now I'm gonna put a little bit of volume back here. And again, I'm not gonna look for realistic shapes. So just some volume here. And then once I reach here, I already go straight down. I don't want it very big. Just to give a little bit of more realistic and add these two muscles that we have in the back there. But not really, just the volume to kind of like simulate those muscles. Be careful because those muscles, they're in the back. There are two muscles there and they're in the back. They are not in the front of the leg. You can see them from the front, but they're still in the back. So the leg must have a triangular shape. So here I'm going to put a little bit more on the back. See, I'm looking to the front to see the shape on the front, but I'm adding to the back there. And don't try to go for realistic shape because you won't find it, because this is absolutely wrong proportions that we gave, so it's impossible to go realistic here. And for the knee, you can either don't make anything else than this little ball that we add, or if you want to put like big knee for the style, you can. I think I like mine like that. And for the legs, something else that is important is in the front. You make a curve here in the back, but in the front, keep it straight, because this is just pretty much just the bone. We don't really have a lot of muscles covering the bone in here, so you can keep it straight, especially in a caricature. Okay, same thing on the other side. Right here on the back, and then here start losing it. Blend it in. Try to do symmetrical with the other leg. When you're putting symmetry, same thing as we do with the face. We did with the face. Sometimes you make one leg, and then when you're gonna do the second one, you make it different, but you like the second one better. So instead of trying to find the shape of the first one, you just do what you did for the second one in the first one. So it doesn't matter which one you're gonna try to copy. It does just matter that the end result, it looks similar. And add some more here. So see, I always add to the back, but because the back is larger than the front, you can see it. If you look in the front, you can still see it, but the volume is just on the back of the leg. There you go. So yeah, I really like that. I'm gonna do this knee a little bit bigger here, just so make a better shape on the leg on the profile. Not trying to make a shape of a real knee here. As I said, when I'm doing the caricature, I don't try to do anything realistic. And here, I like to do here really, really skinny. So, that's already good. Alright, I like it. Let me show you guys. Go around. I think she's nice, she's cute. And I could absolutely already smooth her out. So for the foot, I'm going to add some clay to the white wire there, and go all the way to the base and close it in the back. The foot is quite hard to avoid the air. It goes around the wire, and every time that we have to go around the wire, it always gets harder to avoid the air. Just adding some clay and shaping a little bit here. Not really shaping, just trying to get it stuck on the base so it helps me to shape it better. There, and now that I have the clay added, I can work on the shape of it. So I'm gonna make skinny foot. Again, I'm not going to look for realistic. I'm just going to look for realistic movement. If you want, you can also, if it's been hard for you to add volume to the foot, you can also just add around the wire like we did with the body and bake it, and then keep on adding volume after. And here I'm gonna make a very exaggerated curve for the heels here on the underneath. I don't know if you guys, oh, you guys can't see it here. I'm gonna make try to make a very big curve there. So I can also add here the back of her heels, add some clay, and then slowly I will add volumes and decide the shape of it. Then here on the outside of the foot, there's no arch inside like inside. There's no arch going in like the inside part of the foot. The outside, we don't want to put an arch. There is a little bit of it gets larger on the end, but it's not really an arch. There, and then here we want a curve. I mean, I'm exaggerating, right? So I'm gonna make a very big curve on the profile here, this curve, and squeeze her toes right here to the floor. And then she has her toes showing on this one, so we can make little toes here. So as you see, it's really exaggerated, the curve and things. And here the squeezed. And I think I'm going to leave the foot halfway done and finish to work with it after I bake, because I'm moving to, like, I'm trying to add volume here, and it's going to the other side, so it's not really doing what I want. So I'm gonna give it a basic shape and bake it. And if you are having a hard time even for the basic shape, don't do it. Just add some clay to the wire like we did with the legs, the white wire. Don't add any to the, this is just the heel, so don't add any here, but add some clay here. Just go straight down and bake it, and then add the volumes after. It's gonna be easier for you. Okay, so I'm gonna stop right here in this basic shape, and I will bake it first before I continue it. It's really not doing what I want. Like, I could do it, but it will end up taking me longer, and you guys wouldn't know that it could be easier. So let's just do the easier and not struggle with anything that we don't have to struggle with. So if we're gonna do, like, if you already put the toes and you're gonna bake it, you don't have to put the toes, but if you do put them and you want them to be marked, then don't forget that you should mark them now. So it's just, I don't know, you can do them all, but just mark the toes in there. So big toe here, and then the other ones is just squeeze them and make them. You can actually, when you do it's like a triangle, so for this you can cut it better to make those fingers, those toes. I call fingers toes because in Portuguese toes and fingers are the same word, so sometimes I mess up that one. Please forgive me. But you go like this, and then 1, 2, 3, and the little one gets squeezed in there just like they do when we wear heels. So it doesn't need to be a big deal. As soon as you look and oh, I like that, then that's enough. So little tiny toes there. For the next foot, I'm just gonna put the clay around and bake it, and then you guys can see the difference of trying to make the whole thing already at once and just go for phases, right? So we do two different ways, and then you guys can choose what you like it better. I'm just gonna add. Yes, every time that you're trying to do something and you're trying to do something and you start putting clay one side and start deforming the other side, then just bake it and keep on going from there. It makes it easier if the clay is not doing what you want. Like put the basic shape and bake it, and then it's gonna be better to keep on going. So just go around, because that's the hardest part, is going around the wire. And because once you put around the wire and you try to move it before baking, it keeps on moving itself and running away from the wire, from the position that you want. So just go around, make sure to avoid the air bubbles too, the air between the wire and the foot. This one is even harder because I don't want to touch the other one, so I don't have really space to hold it. See, it's showing the wire here. I'm gonna hold it in there and put whatever I can here to just wrap around the wire. Something that I didn't use in this sculpture, but I use it a lot. I didn't use in this one because I really wanted her to be very skinny, is the flower tape. I don't know if you guys know what it is. I will show you. But usually, most of the time, I use it before I add clay around the wire. Why I'm not using it in this one? Because it does make the wire thicker, and I really, really wanted very skinny legs. So I decided not to. And usually when I'm working with female caricature, I really don't do it because of that. Because usually I want very, very skinny legs, and the tape it will make it less skinny. But for realistic, I always use it, and it helps a lot because it helps the clay to stick better to the wire. Alright, so this is ready to be baked, and that's all that I'm gonna do for this foot. It looks like she's a goat or something, but that's okay. This wire already have some fabric around that is not just the wire, which make it a little bit easier, but the floral tape, it's even better because it is sticky. If you guys don't know it, I'm gonna show you. So that's what it is. There's different colors. It's just to make fake flowers that you make. There's green, there's brown, and there's white. I rather the white one because it avoids a dark shade on the clay, and if you wrap around the wire, it sticks to itself. See, it's sticky. Okay, so I'm going to smooth her out. So there's some mineral oil here. Don't use Johnson & Johnson. It tests cruelly on animals, and it uses cancer products for kids. It's a very bad brand to buy it. There's thousands of other brands around there. So smooth it out. We'll have to smooth it out, especially in the parts that are going to show. Okay. I always like to smoothen a lot before I bake, because I rather doing this now than sanding after. But if you rather sand in your dough after, you can also do that. You smoothen as much as you have patience for with the oil and acetone after. I forgot to do the back before I bake. I could have done the back, but the class is almost done now. So I'm gonna bake it, and then next class I'll finish all this foot and the back. Kind of, if I was not in class, I would probably finish her back before I'll bake it. But here, to have her ready for the next class, I'll just bake it right now. So there you go. This is good enough for the oil. The oil will help to blend it all together, and then the acetone comes to just smoothen and remove the oil and clean up your clay as well, out of hair and dirty parts. That's the acetone job. So now pure acetone. There. Go with the brush. You can also use the Q-tips or the sponge and smoothen out. It can also be alcohol instead of acetone. Try both and see what you prefer. Acetone is stronger. It really cleans your clay really good. But as I said, just use acetone. I don't know if I said it, but I think I did. Just use acetone when you're ready to bake, because it dries out your clay. And if you don't do that, if you wait too much to bake, it might crack before you bake it. It might start cracking your clay. I'm not gonna worry a lot about the belly and the thorax because it's not gonna show. I'm gonna try to clean a little bit that dirty clay here with acetone. See, the oil didn't clean up, but then the acetone comes and really cleans it. There we go. I got all cleaned out. I'm gonna go with the brush again here. If you put acetone and go with your finger, you're gonna remove way too much clay. That's not good. Just when it's necessary, like to clean a huge big black spot like I just did. Other than that, don't do it. I actually prefer doing with alcohol than with acetone. Just the acetone I rather to clean up. That's it. That is good enough. I am going to bake her this time probably just for 10 to 15 minutes. Probably just 10. And don't forget, before you bake, place her head again. Make sure it's in the right position that you want. And 10 to 15 minutes, 275 Fahrenheit or 130 Celsius degrees. Bye! See you next class.